So at first, I started out with a nice iPhone. So whenever I would make these type of videos, I was able to say everything that was on my chest, get it all out in one take. So the videos a lot of times were about, sometimes 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour and 30 minutes. And, they were fairly long videos, but I was able to say everything I needed to say in one day, in one take. And I was able to capture all the footage of the harassment and, you know, bad white people with their white savior complex or quote unquote offering help in order to distort like if someone was watching my videos and they see a white person pull up and they say, "Hey, you homeless or you need food, you need money." It's like that never happens to me any day out of the week. Like I my routines are very, you know, they've always stayed the same. There's a consistency in my routines, and not one of them offer help until I start exposing people's character. So I'm done being nice to bad white people that have a white savior complex. I'm done being kind to them. Like, it's time for them to go. It's time for them to get off this earth. Like, period. They're not welcome here. And I don't have it in me, in my heart, to continue to be nice to someone that's being emotionally manipulative, psychologically abusive. Because if they were really concerned about my health and my well-being, I would have access to my finances, and I would be getting paid for my pain and suffering and my injuries, the time that I was spent being false imprisoned and human trafficked. Like, I wouldn't even be having this conversation. If they were really concerned about my well-being, I wouldn't have felt it in my heart to tell that guy to fuck off. I told him to fuck off because I needed to say it. It's no longer acceptable for bad white people to treat us like this. And the only way that we can take our power back, to get our money back, to get our land back, to get the planet Earth to be healthy again, is to hold them accountable for how manipulative they are. A lot of them, they put people such as me in these really bad situations, and then they're the ones to offer the solution for us to get out, only to trap us right back into that situation. And it's a non-stop loop. It's nothing but a parasitic connection, a parasitic relationship. We have nothing to benefit out of being connected to bad white people like that have a white savior complex. We have nothing to gain out of showing them any support. So it's about time that we stop selling out our own people. It's about time that we stop supporting their businesses if we can. And it's about time that we stop engaging with them in conversation, even their children. I'm very serious, because this is a life and death emergency. The reason why we're suffering so much, the reason why we're in debt up to our knees, the reason why so many people of color are out on the streets and homeless is because we keep supporting bad white people. We need to be able to recognize who the good ones are and who the bad ones are. The bad ones at this point, they know that their time is up. So that's why a lot of them have gotten very desperate and they offer help in these times. But really think about it. If somebody is putting you in a position to where you have no access to your money, you have no access to your funds, you're not able to buy your own land, you're not able to own your own car, you're not able to go wherever you please freely, and they're the ones to provide your clothes, they're the ones to provide shelter, they're the ones that provide your water, your food, all of the other things that you need. What makes you think that they're not going to take it all away when they feel like you've gotten out of control? Or you refuse to comply? What makes you think that they're not going to take it away? Because I've been through this loop. That's why I don't have the patience to, greet them or say hello or be friendly with them unless it's a life and death emergency where I need their help and I have to. That's why I don't. Same car that asked me if I was homeless, by the way. I don't have the patience to deal with their patronism. When they patronize people, when they patronize me, I don't have the patience to deal with it. If I can find food or shelter or do whatever I can on my own, I try. But when you have the oppressor always standing in the way, And I'm sure y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. When you have someone that is very controlling and abusive, always standing in your way to offer help where they've destroyed your life, it gets to a certain point of time where you lose patience dealing with people like that. Especially when they know that they're wrong. They're just not accountable for their actions. And they need to believe that they're good people, and they need to believe this white savior complex. So they destroy your life to make themselves look better when they come help you pick up the pieces that they destroyed. No apology, no accountability, no nothing. Just, oh, I'm here to help, only so that I can take away from you when I feel like I can't control you anymore. So that was just a side note. I know that I'm supposed to be talking about Ciara, but again, when I'm rudely interrupted, I feel the need to talk about whatever I feel like I need to say because I have the freedom to say it. Okay? So anyway, so I'm dealing with this person, and I'm thinking that we're in a relationship, and I'm not knowing that I'm in this abusive connection with somebody that I at one point trusted. Pause that for a minute. I just want y'all to see patterns, consistencies. When I release these videos, I just want y'all to see consistency. Patterns, consistency. That's all I want y'all to see. Because when some of y'all feel the courage or the strength to speak up and speak out, and you start noticing that people are treating you the same way they're treating me, we have one thing in common. When you start seeing, there's a lot of targeted individuals. They talk about stuff like this all the time. And a lot of times there are, how can I describe it? What do they call it? Street theater. When you start noticing that you're being treated the same way that I'm being treated when I release these videos, then we'll see a consistency and a pattern in certain people's behavior. Because at the end of the day, when you're dealing with somebody that knows that you don't want to be bothered, and they're continuing to flex and patronize you and pretend to be the hero when they're causing all this damage in your life, targeted individuals will be forced to hold perpetrators accountable for their bad behavior. That's the only way to really truly hold someone accountable. If they've been giving time and chance after chance to redeem themselves, to make it right with the damage that they've caused, and then never go back to that, and they just choose to be domineering instead, you have to hold somebody accountable for that. Like, if you have no value for human life, and you have all this money, and you see all these people suffering, and you have enough to spare to help people to really truly end homeless, and you choose not to, or you choose to use propaganda to make it look like you're helping people but you're really not, that's when someone's character needs to be exposed. Not only is there a whole lot of homeless people out on the streets, but the animals can't breathe because the earth is so polluted. And that's because of the bad white people that are on this planet. They're the reasons why the ozone layer is melting. They're the reason why just so many bodies of water are being dried out. Because they're parasites. They suck the life out of everyone on this planet, and they suck the life and the joy out of this planet, and they need to go. And unfortunately, Ciara may not be a white person, but she's one of those parasitic people of color that's sold out, that's been bought. And instead of helping people, instead of doing the right thing, she chooses to do the wrong thing. She chooses to have money and power over people instead of knowing the value of their life. So this is not just about Ciara. This is about people that are like that. And people that have that narcissistic mindset need to be exposed because their behavior is unacceptable. We have to hold people accountable for how they behave. We have to hold people accountable for what they say. And when people have the power to help another person, to save another person's life, and they choose to ignore it intentionally over and over and over again, their character needs to be exposed. So if they don't know the value of a human life and they place wealth over a human soul, their character needs to be exposed. It's just simple as that. Stand your ground. Hold these people accountable. Point the blame where it needs to be